Hello guys, this is leathertoolz. Today I want to introduce you OLFA rotary cutter 60mm. 60mm being the diameter of the cutting wheel, and this is the ideal for leather craft in my opinion, so I highly recommend it. It says OLFA and Prim at the same time here. I think it's just because of how the channel sales channel works in here in Europe. I live in Germany, so even though it says only OLFA on your blade, that's perfectly fine because this makes by OLFA makes them from Japan. This is made in Japan tool, and it's just it doesn't matter. And not only OLFA makes them, there are similar companies also make similar products. I'm not sure how they avoided the patent things, but they are all decent, nice looking. I've seen some of them are made of aluminium also with the curved handle ones, but I prefer to stay on this plastic, the straight handle ones, because anything that curves into the handle, sometimes it gets very annoying. You know, I prefer straight, solid grip and also light tool. So I prefer this flat, just plastic. I also like this yellow color as well. It just shows the industrial design as well. So 60mm, being 60mm cutter, you can release your safety. I mean, there's a safety guard type of here. You can just pull it like this with pressing this down, and you can explode your blade. And being 60mm, this makes really beneficial when it comes to cutting thick leather. Yeah, you see how much leather, how much the blade is exposed there. And some of you guys want to know how far it is to shoot, so that you know the limit, how thick you can cut this material with. So I'll just measure it for you. This was the most important thing for me when I bought this product. So it's 12mm, so 12 to 13mm ish. Yeah, it's between 12 to 13mm, so that's like ½ inch. Yeah, so ½ inch thickness you can cut with this type of blade. And I want to tell you how sharp this blade was. I was very surprised and pleasant and happy with it. This round cutter, it comes scary sharp. It comes sharper than this type of cutting blade. Yeah. So this round blade is much sharper than this one, and they are expensive as well. So this ideal, the OLFA brand round cutter, I think it costs around $7 to $9 depending on where you are. And also, of course, in Europe it costs around €9 or so. It's quite expensive. And I found an alternative brand that sells relatively cheaply with a good Japanese steel. So I'll put also link in the down description box or in the comment box where you can purchase them. And so, but being original blade, it gives you the most cutting ability. So for example, I will show you, demonstrate how well it cuts. So this is my cutting board. It's a HDPE cutting board, and this is vegetable tan leather. It's quite thick. It's around, I say, 5mm one. Yeah, so you can just cut it like it's nothing, you know, like so, like this, like this. So it cuts leather like nothing. I think it's because of the sharpness and how thin it is. It's crazy thin. So don't apply too much pressure on this round tool. I mean, don't dig it in and then twist it. Yeah, just push it in straight, and then you cut your stuff. Now, one thing I've noticed, people are confused which type of blade they should be getting it for getting into knife leather craft. I want to say you don't necessarily purchase every knife that's out there. It's depending on what type of cutting action you prefer and what type of job you're doing. So for example, when you're cutting small leather goods, and if you're trying to cut very high precision way, I think this anti-cutter blade is a must. It's the first thing you should ever get. And if you're looking for a nice addition to your cutting tool, if you're trying to cut straight lines, but if you're cutting stretch material, or you want to cut it without sacrificing your blade tools to be used in direct motion. So what I mean is that when you're trying to cut the straight lines, and if the piece is too big, if you are cutting large hide, it's really effective when you're using this type of rotary tool, because you can just push it, glide it through on your workpiece, and then it cuts through the leather very well. But if you need to cut it with this type of dragging cut tools, you need to apply much more pressure, and then you need a stable surface to cut on, which is this rotary tool. You can just push it all the way through. When you have a straight line, you can just push it all the way through, and that's it. So what is the advantage of using the round knife over this rotary tool is that, first, the blade stock is much thinner, and it comes with razor shaft from the factory, so you don't need to do any sharpening. Whereas the round knife, it takes really good technique to sharpen it, and also this thing doesn't rotate, so it creates a friction while you cut, so there is a cutting resistance while you're cutting it. So but for this one, the blade rotates itself while it cuts through the material, so it gives you just pleasant cutting ability when it comes to cut leather. One downside I have to tell you also is that being the knife so round, it's difficult to cut very intricate cuts. Like, so for example, you're trying to cut leather, so for example, like this, then you want to cut like this. This knife can do this, but this knife can never do this. Okay, that's another thing. So I talk this and that, but let's just make it very simple. This knife is good for cutting straight lines on any surface. Of course, it's better to have a cutting surface on the bottom, but it's good for cutting straight lines. It's really easy. It's a day and night. Yeah. For any intricate cuts like this knife works better. Okay, so it's good to have both, but if you're just starting, get this one first, and when it comes to, oh, I want to try different tools and I want to have more pleasant cutting for straight lines, get this tool. It's really different. Yeah, and replacement blade is sold separately as well. That blade is also made in Japan, and that's it. So when it comes to cutting the big hides, I'll show you time to time how this knife comes in handy in the future videos. And if you're looking to trying to get round knives for some reason, get this one. You don't have to buy the round knives. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. More tool reviews are coming. I'll see you guys next video. Bye bye.